Hello there and welcome to the Catholic Focus News with me, Sasha Elizabeth, and joining me on the sign language interpretation is Ken Mwangi. In this bulletin, we bring you stories of faith, service and community from across the globe and right here in Kenya. From Pope Leo XIV's call to Turkey's small Catholic Church to African faith leaders tackling health challenges and teachers, traders and students shaping the future of our nation. This is Catholic Focus News. Stay with us as we explore courage, hope and action in the life of the Church and the communities it serves. We start off miles away where Pope Leo XIV has urged Turkey's small Catholic community to embrace, and I quote, logic of littleness, a humble yet powerful witness rooted in service rather than numbers. Speaking in Istanbul to bishops, clergy, religious and pastoral workers, the pontiff highlighted Turkey's deep Christian roots and encouraged the faithful to face the future with confidence, renewed mission and dedication to service. He traced the country's Christian story from Abraham to the early churches of Antioch and Ephesus and the councils that shaped global Christianity, insisting that this rich heritage should inspire courage, not retreat. With Catholics numbering barely 33,000 in a nation of 85 million, the Pope emphasized that small size is no barrier to impact. He called for renewed engagement in ecumenical dialogue, care for migrants and service to the poor. As Turkey commemorates 1,700 years since the Council of Nicaea, his message resonated as both a challenge and a consolation. Even a small church rooted in history and hope can act as a leaven for peace, unity, and faithful witness in a rapidly changing society. Take a look.
The church in Turkey is a small community, yet fruitful like a seed and leaven of the kingdom. I therefore encourage you to cultivate a spiritual attitude of confident hope, rooted in faith and in union with God. There's a need to witness to the gospel with joy and look to the future with hope. I also encourage you to listen, to accompany young people, to give special attention to those areas where the church in Turkey is called to serve. Ecumenical and interreligious dialogue, transmitting the faith to the local population, and pastoral service to refugees and migrants. This last aspect deserves special reflection. The significant presence of migrants and refugees in this country presents the church with the challenge of welcoming and serving some of the most vulnerable. At the same time, this church itself is made up largely of foreigners, and many of you, priests, sisters, and pastoral workers, come from other lands. This calls for a special commitment to enculturation so that the language, customs, and culture of Turkey become more and more.
Well, such a strong message that just with 33,000 Catholics in a population of 85 million people, Pope Leo XIV still reminds Turkey that small church is not a stumbling block to global impact. Next, let's turn our focus to Africa, where faith leaders are working together to strengthen healthcare across the continent. The three-day Christian Health Leaders Conference in Africa wrapped up yesterday in Nairobi, organized by the General Council of Churches of Africa. Our reporter Alan Andiva was on the ground, and here is his full report.
This umbrella organization brought together various partners, including CCIH, ASCC, SETA, and ACHAP.
We represent a broad Christian fellowship, united by faith in Christ and a shared mission to serve communities across Africa. Together with our global partners, we affirm that caring for the sick, protecting people's health, and advocating for justice are not peripheral acts of discretionary charity. They are mandates of discipleship and foundational expressions of Christian fidelity.
Archbishop Thomas Locke from Malawi stated that the conference aimed to assessing the contribution of faith-based initiative in the health sector across Africa, while also reflecting on alternative approaches to addressing the health funding challenges, especially after the United States withdrew its support for the poorer nations.
We said we should not stop asking for support internationally. As they are stopping from helping us, they should not just cut this aid abruptly like this. No, we are saying yes, self-reliance is very important, but it should be a gradual, not just cut like that without a plan. So we are still saying we will talk to the international donors to continue supporting us. At the same time, the local people, our parishioners, our Christians should take over to support our programs, so that our people, especially in the rural areas, should be able to get support for their health.
Bishop Matthew Hassan Kuka from Sokoto Diocese in Nigeria urged believers to support church hospital projects by paying the necessary fees to ensure sustainable services.
Sorry, is it here in Kenya too? Oh, I thought it was only in Nigeria, where Catholics believe that whatever belongs to the church belongs to them. And I think this is part of our missionary history. So it's also a measure of how far we are growing and maturing. We came from a background in which missionaries were doctors, they were educators, they gave us most of the things we have. But I think our people have gotten used to this psychology of dependency. The reason why we are Catholic is that we are for everybody. But it is impossible to say that you are going to run a hospital or run a school. You run a hospital for those who are sick, not for Catholics. You run a hospital or a school for those who want education. And I think what I can speak about in Nigeria, even my poor diocese like Sokoto, this is true of every Catholic school from Albania to Zimbabwe, where there is always concern for the vulnerable. We had in our hospital, for example, a little bit of money set aside for people who are unable to help themselves. But that Catholics who can help or should be helping other people will develop a sense of entitlement is morally unacceptable. So it's not that because the church has built a school, or therefore everybody will go on a discounted. It's not the right attitude.
Religious leaders and health partners in Africa pledge to continue collaborating to strengthen health services, while also warning citizens about the importance of participating and supporting church hospital projects. Reporting for the Catholic Focus, I'm Alan Andiva.
While faith leaders come together in solidarity for faith and health, here at home, communities, educators are raising an alarm over a looming CBC crisis. Now, with barely a month to the nationwide transition into grade 10 under the competency-based curriculum, teachers in Kiambu County are raising a red flag over what they describe as serious preparedness gaps that could derail the rollout. From inadequate teacher retooling to delays in learning materials, the educators say the system is far from ready.
With just weeks to the grade 10 CBC transition, teachers in Kiambu are warning that the country is heading to January unprepared. They say the retooling of teachers meant to equip them for the new curriculum remains legally incomplete, with many instructors yet to receive any training, while those who did report that the sessions were hurried and inadequate.
Kenya is transiting from the 844 to the CBE mode of education. A model on paper, when it was first brought out, it was very good. But this CBE requires a lot of input, a lot of money, a lot of infrastructure. And the government does not want to put those infrastructures in place. So what we are having is a system that's supposed to ensure that our students discover their talents. But it has been made to go around, and it is starting to look again like an 844 system because it is being measured on exams.
Learning materials are another major concern. Publishers have released key textbooks, citing unpaid government arrears. Educators fear this delay could disrupt learning from the very first term, especially since the CBC heavily relies on instructional materials for effective delivery.
The teachers have not even had the curriculum designs so that they can know what they are working in. The retooling exercise that was done, a third of the teachers in the Republic, they went for retooling in August. There's another retooling for another third of the teachers coming up in December. But going from the people who have attended those things, it's as if the government is not really keen on having this system to work.
Teachers are also struggling to plan timetables due to shortage of specialists in key areas such as indigenous languages and community services learning. They argue that this gap, so close to the transitioning date, has thrown schools into confusion.
Teachers who went for retooling, and I can say for sure it was all confusion. In fact, as we speak, we don't even know who is going to teach what. For example, in my school, the pathways that we have been given, there's a subject on community service. We actually don't know who is going to teach that community service. There's again on indigenous language. We are yet to know what indigenous language are we talking about. Is it the local language? And it is the local language, what about the students who don't come from that locality? What will happen to them?
Speaking during the launch of their campaigns ahead of the Kupet elections, Team Change, led by County Executive Secretary aspirant J.T. Mbugwa, urged the Minister of Education to urgently address the gaps, warning that the transition risks overwhelming teachers and compromising learning outcome. They further called for intern teachers to be absorbed into permanent apportionable terms and demand better access to medical services under the new SHA health insurance scheme, including removal of referral equipment and priority quizzes for teachers.
The other day, we saw the interns on the streets. And I remember very well, personally, I was part of the team that took TSC to court. And internship was declared illegal. I want to urge the government, please, these are graduates that you are giving a stipend of 17,000. In these harsh economic times, 17,000 is even smaller than peanuts. Kindly consider the issue of confirming the interns top of your priority. The interns have been patriotic enough. They have served our JS institutions. Therefore, kindly be gracious to them and confirm them so that by the time the academic calendar is starting in January, these teachers will be serving at a permanent and pensionable term.
As we want to register our displeasure with the SHA because we have seen previously so many cries about the SHA, that it has not been working. And again, we feel that we have been moved in a rush without consultation from the members. And the rush, it is affecting especially those people who have been having an ongoing treatment. So they don't know as from next week, that is 1st of December, where are they supposed to access the medical attention that they have been getting.
Nikiripotia runinga Capuchin, mtazamo Katoliki, mimi ni John Beja.
Well, traders at Umoja 2 market in Nairobi today took to the streets, closing access roads and shutting down operations as they protested what they say is an attempt to grab their market land. The group claims a private developer is using a controversial court ruling to take over the 1-acre market that hosts more than 300 shops. Caro Nicholas reports.
Tension ran high in Umoja 2 as traders blocked surrounding roads, accusing an unnamed private developer of moving to seize their market under the guise of a court decision. The traders say the ruling, reportedly issued online, has not been uploaded to the official judiciary portal, a delay they believe is meant to deny them a chance to file an appeal.
Hii shamba tulipatiwa ni kanjo 203 na kanjo ikakubali tujenge na tukajenga na tukapata kibali ya hii shamba iko hapa. Tukajenga kutoka wakati huo kufika mwaka wa 2019. Mtu mmoja anaitwa Hele Rohio akakuja akabomoa. Ule alikuwa chairman by then akaenda kotini, lakini alienda peke yake akashindwa. Na hiyo ruling ndio wanatumia. Sasa hii ruling ingine ilifanywa 20th. Na kutoka 20 ijaweko kwa poto ya bali iko ukienda kwa register hakuna kitu kinapatikana. Na tumejaribu na wakili wengi, hata Sibuna tupatia wakili akaenda akatafuta, wakili wetu akaenda akatafuta kota. Sisi wenyewe tukatuma watu individuals wakapata hata saa hii tutapata.
Led by local MCAs and Umoja Community Market Chairman Buru Kinyanchui, the traders maintained that the market built and operated by the community for decades cannot be handed over to an individual. They insist the land belongs to the public and want that more than 300 shop owners stand to lose their livelihoods if the alleged takeover succeed.
Na hii shamba nimwambia ni community land. Na community land you cannot grab ukiwa peke yako individuals kulingana na sheria ya Kenya. Na ndio nakuja na mabu hapa ndio muione mkubani community land mkitetea mtusaidie kwa sababu nyinyi ndio president ndio mtusaidia kwa sababu hii mtu anaitwa Isaac Aigu na Abdi kimwamba hata mkitoka hapa muende mpige picha ile soko mweke bruise ndio hata police anjue. Kwa hivyo na mkifanya hivyo mnafanya kitu ya community si ya mtu individual na niko na proof yake hapa.
The protesters further called on President William Ruto and Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja to intervene, saying the matter has escalated into a full-blown crisis marked by anxiety, confusion and clashes with police during that they insist was a peaceful demonstration.
Nimeghadhabishwa na jinsi ambayo mambo yalivyokuwa yanaendelea hapa. Wananchi walikuwa na peaceful demonstration ambazo polisi wamegeuza ikakuwa ni a shooting exercise with using live bullets. Yangu ni kuwaomba tu wajirestrain from shooting at innocent public ambao ile kitu wanatetea tu ni haki yao. Kwa sababu hii soko imekuwa hapa tangu tukiwa watoto wadogo. Na shamba mingi sana hapa Umoja zilinyakuliwa ama kualoketiwa kinyume na sheria. Anaweza kuwa kona title lakini the title was illegally acquired. Umoja 2 should have a market ambayo ndio iko hapa. Kama vile tuko na soko yetu ya Umoja 1.
Serikali kuje tusimamie itusaidie. Hii shamba watu wamekaa hapa more than 24 years. Kuna polisi hapa ni trigger happy. Ndio hizi risasi amepiga live bullets. Anapiga wananchi ambao ni innocent. Anapiga live bullets na ni polisi tunawajua tu huku wakihangaisha vijana huku mtaani. Demonstration ilikuwa peaceful demonstration. Lakini sasa hawa wamepiga risasi wakafanya demonstration ikakuja mbaya.
The leaders said they respect the courts but cannot accept a ruling they have not seen and vowed to challenge any attempts to evict them once the judgment is made. publicly accessible.
Tunaheshimu uamuzi wa koti, lakini hatukubaliani nao. Tukasema sisi tunaenda kuapili. Sasa hiyo kuapili imekuwa shida kwa sababu ule jaji alifanya hiyo ruling, hajaweka ile ruling kwa portal ya Judicial Service Commission. Na hiyo ndio ruling inafanya wananchi wanafanya hii mgomo. Kwa sababu tunahitaji hiyo ruling ndio tuweze kufanya appeal. Kwa sababu ule jamaa hii shamba iko under county, soko ni ya county, na sisi tuna imani ya kwamba tukiapili kesi tutaweza kushinda.
Kwa barabara haitasaidia. Tukawaambia the right way, the right channel. Tuko na MCAs hapa na tuko na serikali hapa. Hoja zao zote zitawasilishwa the right places. Njia mwafaka, tuko na chairman hapa na wamesema wanafuatilia because wamesema wameenda milimani, hawajaweza kupata the ruling. Wapate the ruling ndio waweze kuappeal, na wakiweza kuappeal mambo yao yatafuatiliwa. Hata wako na wakili wao mwenye anayafuatilia hii kesi yao.
We are not going to move an inch. We are not going to go anywhere. We are going to go anywhere over our dead bodies. Hiyo soko hatuachirii. Hiyo soko hatuachirii na justice must be found. Kama mwenye alikuwa pale alienda akauza. Hiyo tumekataa.
As timbers rise, the residents say they remain determined to defend what they describe as community property, promising to continue pushing for transparency and government intervention to stop the alleged land grab. Reporting for Capuchin TV, I'm Caroline Nicholas.
And while Umoja 2 Market has grabbed headlines today, it's important to note that this is far from an isolated case. As in our previous bulletins, as witnessed across Nairobi and other counties, there has been a growing trend of disputes of our community and public land, highlighting the need for stronger safeguards and government oversight to avert this trend. Elsewhere, Education Cabinet Secretary Honorable Julius Ogamba today presided over the second graduation ceremony of the Open University of Kenya, held at the modern Konza Technopolis in Machakos County. The event celebrated the university's role in expanding accessible, technology-driven higher education across the country. In his address, CS Ogamba reaffirmed the ministry's commitment to supporting OUK's growth, highlighting plans to strengthen infrastructure, expand staffing, and accelerate enrollment to meeting rising demand for flexible and inclusive learning opportunities. He further praised the university for unveiling its 2025 to 2028 strategic plan, aligning digital learning, innovation, research, and student support with Kenya Vision 2030. He also emphasized the university's vital role in empowering learners, improving livelihoods, and driving national socio-economic progress.
As a ministry, we will continue to support the university to ensure that it fulfills its mandates and missions, and that it creates opportunities that no deserving Kenyans are left behind. The university is expanding, the programs are expanding, the courses are affordable, they are flexible. As one of the students indicated here, the student leader, I think, she did indicate that you're learning in the kitchen, you're learning in the bus, you're learning in the farms. It is possible to do it. So we expect that many more people will join this institution so that they can advance their learning and they can get the certificates that they require in order for them to advance economically. So congratulations once again.
Use your knowledge to create solutions, build enterprises, and serve humanity. Once again, I truly congratulate you for the pace that you have set, giving us an opportunity on our second year of being established to be here today to witness your graduation. A major distinguishing factor of the Open University of Kenya is a flexible and modular model of providing education.
Well, we hear from the Catholic Focus team. We say congratulations to the new graduates. And that story wraps up our Catholic Focus bulletin this day. From small yet steadfast communities in Turkey to Kenya's schools, markets and universities, faith and service continues to inspire action and change. Thank you for joining us. I'm Masasha Elizabeth, with sign language interpretation by Ken Mwangi. Stay blessed and keep the faith at the center of your life.
Keep watching Capuchin TV, your staunchly Catholic identity channel.